Welcome team, welcome back everyone. Today is the orientation for a new JPACT session. We will talk about what JPACT is. We will also talk about JPACT versus IT Learn in terms of the membership and what you do. And we will talk about the JPACT 14 activities that we will be going through everyone. So what is very critical team for us to keep focused is itlearn.com hosts a lot of tutorials for us on various topics across IT and also specifically a lot on software testing and automation, CI/CD in that area too. Now, when it comes to a skill, a specific skill, you could go to itlearn.com, look at all the online courses, pick up any of these batches or courses and start learning them. So the primary thing is we want to take this beyond a pure learning. We want to put you into a project atmosphere. The name itself stands for job placement and certified training. So while there are a lot of courses that we offer on a regular basis, when we talk about the certifications, we work closely with you team. JPACT focuses on building your portfolio of skills. So we talk about A is your training needs, what all you need to learn as part of it. Let's do it this way. Then next are your project activities, and we're going to talk a lot of this team. This is where you'll spend most of your time. We will also talk about how you can pick certifications. And this batch, I want to talk about JPACT 12 and earlier batch members. To repeat again. So we will address this part of it also, team. What we are intending to do. Okay. Sorry. So team, when we're talking about project activities, there's a lot that I want to address. But when it comes to training needs, we basically have all the core IT skills. Then we have the coding. And then we get into more of QA and automation / SDIT kind of rules. Yes, it is still focused towards QA and so on, but as I speak a little bit about the project activities, I will also address any out in this and what you could do as a development process. Now, team, each of these will have its schedule and you will be attending a lot of trainings. So one big question would come is amount of time and effort you can spend on the program. It's an intense program. Requires a lot of participation. So you're not just learning, but you will be working with the other team members. And this is where the project activities come. So you're broken down into teams of 5 to 6 each. We had earlier did the same where we tried to divide the teams based on time zones and so on. Now we want to do it based on categories. One is we want to talk about coders in both Java and Python, how we can do coding. There's a lot of project activities that require you to focus on the coding part of it. There's manual QA that is pretty much easy. You work with Doc, Excel, maybe a tool like Anyot, Jira, etc. Then there's automation QA, and here we get more into Selenium and basics of frameworks and how they work. SDET, software development, engineer and test, takes you into more CI/CD and DevOps part over automation QA. So how this comes in and how we can put that together is very, very critical. And the other group could be just coordinators slash leads. So what I mean to say is each of you could be fitting into any of these groups. It could be a coder, you could be someone in manual or automation, someone who could do beyond automation, do coding, CI/CD, DevOps, frameworks, all of them together as an SDET, or you could be someone who's coordinating and leading these project activities. Now, the main important thing, team, is when you're working together as groups, you are here is this points. Your teams are critical to work together and deliver, and that is how you all been doing things. It is just the size of the project, the scope of the project could be sometimes smaller, but the look, feel, the way you work will be very similar to how things happen in a real world project. So we use tools, we use our agile methodologies, we go through in a very structured manner how we produce results. So teams continue to work, and that is where we will have a lot of our focus going into. So the teams would be interacting either on Skype that we use often, or we could also go towards Slack. Anyone who did not hear about Slack? What is Slack? What does it do? So Slack helps us to maintain, I think slack.com, I'm not sure. Let's search. How we interact with our team members, everyone. So I could, let us say I'm in an organization, we all will have a dashboard where we can come together and chat with each other. Then we can divide them into groups individually to chat on projects, put our attachments there, create our project workflow. Most importantly are your deliverables. What are the deliverables we want to put? How do we highlight them and so on? So Slack helps us to better manage our work deliverables in a distributed team atmosphere. It is one of the most powerful tools that has been used over the last 3-4 years in the market. It's picked up very, very well, especially for remote teams. This has come up well. So I'm believing that we should also use Slack for our internal communication. So from a packaging perspective, there are two packages. There's a free version and there's a standard for small and medium-sized businesses. So if this fits our need, maybe I would take this up for IT Learn, and you could all be part of it as a Slack user. What we use is Skype, where we can do almost the same thing, but Slack gives us a little bit better um, features, lot of interaction with other members, and so on. So go through the slack.com team. You'll also see what it has. So why Slack features, how it replaces email. So no longer are we trying to send group emails or individual emails. All the communication, we're putting it directly onto this platform. It's a web UI, you log in there and you start working. I believe they also have a desktop application that you can use. I'm not sure. I was using the web UI predominantly. It's a nice one. We can evaluate this. These kind of tools become or come in very handy for you when you go and talk about how you worked on this project. We're all aware, team, currently most of us, if we have an opportunity to do anything, work from home is the only option. And how do we effectively do this delivery from home depends on how you work with a team. So that skill is very critical. The same thing what I've been doing in terms of projects and training online, I've been doing it for a decade. It's been since 2009, 10 team have been working completely from home. As needed, just travel to client location, but I'm doing it at home. So these tools will help us. So this is very important. I've seen a lot of success with our earlier JPACT members for every new trainings that we're doing, how we interact. So let us say, for example, we have, okay, so there's a Java training going. Let us say there's also a QA training going. There is an NEO training going, and so on. So with all these trainings going on, each of them have their own students who are joining in. Each of them have their own files, what we're doing. We also have questions. Karthik, something is not working here. Something is not working there. When we put these questions, we could always put it to that specific group. Or you know what? I am part of IT Learn, which has all these groups. I want this message to go to this group or this group or this group. And you interact based on those specific groups. Every member will be at least part of 6 to 10 such project groups over the period of next 3 to 4 months. And so what I mean to say is JPACT has an end-to-end course that the program goes for about 6 weeks. 2x JPACT in the sense repeating the program twice gives you immense confidence, skill, and portfolio of your projects. So what I'm saying, team, is very critical. A portfolio, portfolio. I made a lot of spellings. So there's a lot of training that we're going. So like I was saying, you could be attending a training on Java, on QA, on NEOT, or there could be something coming up on Pega, or let us say data sciences and so on. So how do you learn them? How do you work with a team on assignments and projects? So you do a lot of group practice, and then having to repeat all of this again at least 2 times. You will get much better the second time. Just because of the content, what you have to learn is much larger. So team, I'm not scaring you, but be prepared to have a full book of learning. So it's going to be testing you and your patience on how we can do. My job is to ensure, team, each of these programs that we're doing are nicely divided into chewable by itself. Sometimes you will see that, oh, you know what, I got Java easily, but I did not get Python. I did not understand how GitHub works, or there are questions, team, that all of us will have. As you keep working on it, not just attending trainings, but as part of JPACT, as you work on it, you would be more exposed to hands-on. That is what it will push you to. Your team members will push you. The JPACT program itself will be moving, so you want to move along with it. So far, so good, everyone. I'm just explaining what it will contain for us and how we're going to break down what we want to do each day on this. Any questions, anyone? Okay, I'm assuming none right now. So I also have notes for JPACT 12 and 13 batch. There's no 13 batch team. So one of the questions I know will come up, JPACT 13, is skipped. No, I always did not, I was not like an ardent believer in being that member. I was supposed to start with 13. With what is happening, I thought let's just skip that. Start a new batch called 14. So that's basically 14 batches, 13. This will be the 13th batch overall that we have planned since we started the program. It is always about enabling you. It is getting you prepared internally. And then we will talk a little bit more about resume and so on. Now, here comes out in terms of what else we do. So I spoke about we're going to work on Skype, Slack. We will also be working team will work and connect daily as an agile practice. So you will be working as a strong agile methodology team. The whole orientation will be live. You will not have any room to lay down, relax too much about it. This program will move pretty fast. What is important is connect with your team regularly. You will stay in touch. And what else did we do? Yes, all team members from JPACT, I want to ensure that you get into creating at varkasa.com email addresses and get socially involved in LinkedIn, etc. End of it, you need to build your social profile. You need to have good connections. So not only will your old JPACT members be well connected with you, and we can put this one team on a need basis for the ones working. Okay, what else? Now, from a schedule perspective, team, there are a bunch of trainings. I was thinking JPACT daily call from 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific. I wanted to ask and put a couple of questions, team. I don't know who is attending from which country right now. We've got a good size of participants, but I need to check this. I'm going to do a couple of quick poll questions, team. That'll help me to get a good idea. Let's see. Team, this poll that you're seeing on your screen is more of your skill level currently. So are you good in advanced automation testing, or are we at a beginning level? Look at that thinking. Yes, I'll talk about certifications here. So you can choose beginner, manual QA, you've done automation frameworks on an SDET. What is your current skill level? And I wanted to add, what was the other question I wanted to ask you now? The country. Multiple choice with one answer. There's only multiple choice. How will I get in the first poll team? I think we are almost done with that. But I got only 60% of votes. 65 is spreading. Can you all finish that? It should not take too long, team, for you to fill that in. Team, you have to put your answers on the screen. Select the one on your screen, please. On the screen, you're not able to select? That's strange. Sorry about that. Never heard that. But I'll take your answers. So Shaumitra, Jasveer, you both are unable to do it on the screen. Beginner, okay. Not sure. Certifications and these are the two things. I'm going to close the first poll. I've got only 65% votes, and I think a lot of you could not click on it. So here it is, team. So most of you are at a beginner or a manual QA level team. Only a few of you have done something a little bit more advanced on these. I know most of the questions are related to software testing and automation. Anyone who's from a different field other than SDET, automation, QA, can you let me know on the chat, please? And I will have one more poll question. Which country you're joining from, team? So I've just entered 3 as of now. So I'm sure you should be able to put into one of them. If it's anything other than the ones mentioned, please put it as others, everyone. And can you let me know in the chat when you mentioned other, which country it is? I'm so sorry, I was on mute, didn't realize that. I was reading out a few of these from the messages. So team, I've mentioned a few countries. If you're from a different country, just say other and please let me know. I see a few more people who are there mentioning from US. You know, to put it there. Other countries, I have two from Australia. I have Satya and Shiva. I'm not seeing any other countries right now. No one from UK, Yura. What's the time there, Australia? Satya, Shiva. Yes, Madhuri. Audio is back now, hopefully, right? And sure. 10:30 a.m. Perfect. Yes, I thought so. That will be a good time for Australia as well. So this is what we will do in these sessions. I'll talk about it and how we're going to go about it. And I know that since most of us are right now at home, available for a few more hours maybe to spend online, then let's finish these programs. That is the idea. Okay. I've got 70% votes in for the countries. Let me close this and I'm going to share. It's been a long team, though the session is like almost at 5:30 a.m. in India. I have about 40% of you joining from there. And it's really nice to see so many of you joining. 11% other, I know two of you are from Australia, maybe a few others from the countries. I'm going to hide this and one last poll team. It's just a simple yes or no. If you worked on a real test automation project. If you worked on JPACT training projects, that wouldn't suffice, team. If you worked on any of lab or any of client-based projects, then it is a yes. The reason I'm asking this question, team, is not just in terms of what skills you need, but also the fact that if you've not got that experience, it is very important and high time now to start them. And I see one message, Karthik, due to COVID-19, most of them are home. So can you please do the class daily basis so we can be ready after the opening. So that's the intent, team. I want to plan such a way that we finish a lot of this in the coming 2 months. So you are kind of ready to get into the market as it starts shaping. So I see a couple more yes in the chat and no's. So I'm going to close this poll and share that result. So team, majority of you have not worked in test automation. Maybe manual, I'm not sure. I didn't ask that question, but automation project you did not. And that is critical, everyone. If you want to be in the QA IT industry, then working and showing your experience in automation is very important. So let's ensure that you pick that up. And when I ask you the same question in the next 5 weeks, you'll not say no. Because one of the important things is your project activity that will start. Thank you so much. I'm going to hide this and back to our session. Any other questions at this time? Let me know. We'll get into a Q&A right after this, team. I have 2 pointers to go through meanwhile. So we'll discuss a little here. Now here is the schedule. We'll talk about the schedule first and then I'll get into certifications. So team, every day I want to meet 5 to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. So in the 60 minutes, I want to do 30 minutes of mock interviews / coding challenges. This is for members who are already experienced. Okay. Ideal for members who went through trainings recently. Great for new members who observe. So JPACT 12, JPACT 11 members, I will send the list of questions a day before, so you can prepare your answers and code to show. So for the mock interviews, so today let us say I'm doing a mock interview on Jira at the top, or tomorrow it will be on JUnit, or let's say STNG. So whatever are the related questions for it, I want to send it to you in the groups. Once I send you those questions, you prepare on those questions, come up and answer them, whoever can. Apart from this, we can also do team project presentations. Every team can show their progress, what is happening, and get their challenges. There is absolutely 110% no way that you cannot improve your skills significantly by staying in this project. So if you're attending the trainings and working in this project team, your learning is guaranteed. There's no question about it. I'm 101% sure. Yes, you'll have to participate. Just keep participating through these things. So these would be my JPACT daily activities from 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific. Members in India, I know it's very early. 5:30 a.m. is not easy to wake up early every day. But thank you for at least so many of you trying to make it today. And that's great spirit team. If you can continue at that time, great. Or maybe we'll have one more session at a little different. We'll adjust it as we go along. With what we have, we need to take our steps. So we're not discussing too much on the trainings itself so far. So trainings, list of trainings, we know they'll keep coming. There's no end to the list of trainings that we have. Certifications are important, team, and these are the certifications that will come up. We haven't given out a lot of certifications recently because there were big batches that are coming towards an end. So here are the certifications that we will do. One is training certificates. It basically says you participated in a program. There are two more certificates, team. NEOT certified tester and NEOT certified developer. And these are amazing certificates from a point of view on how you could on a tool basis, automation, coding. So a lot of things will come into it. And the other one is how can you forget this? You have your training certificate, ACT, ACD. There's something. There was one more thing that I forgot about the certification in this. Let it notes anyway. I'll come back. So these certifications, I will be sending you a personal signed copy. So for all of this, JPACT 12 and earlier batches, get ready for certifications in the coming week. We have a online exam for it. I'm going to arrange that, and they're all working on a project on various technologies, so they're working on those two. The other certification, client project certifications. So if you work with us on any client project certificates, client projects as an intern to help deliver, I would want to get this. And with client projects team, you also have reference check available from both CASA and the client. So you can also have the client project manager to be able to work with you. But you have to get close to it. Now, a lot of these activities, I used to do it in a more gradual pace earlier, but now it will be more firm. So let me talk about time and effort. I'm going to get into Q&A. Schedule as of now, team. There is daily JPACT, 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. We want to keep discussing where we are from a job and our own personal preparation point of view there. Then you have your live trainings, and these are at different times. I'll keep you noted. Your JPACT has, so for example, we have the Java plus Python coming in next week, early next week, and the HTML and not free. Both of them are the free trainings. So that helps to get into JPACT. It is not easy to do overall JPACT without all of these trainings. Then we are live as a team on Slack or Skype. We keep using this. Okay. What else? I was talking about JPACT versus IT Learn. So all JPACT members must go through the IT Learn trainings. Additionally, JPACT members work on projects and certifications. So that's about it, team. That's all that I have from my side. I'll be seeing you again on Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific. It will be the same webinar. I'll keep updating on that. And the idea is not really to put in any training into this itself. Let's focus on discussing as a team. I want teams to present. I want teams to work on it. Let's do more of those discussions here. As a JPACT, what's up? Okay, team questions, please. And in the meanwhile, there may be another poll that I may want you to launch. And you're more than welcome to raise your hand if you want to speak your question, anyone. And I'm not going to cancel any of your registrations on this. I'll continue you for a few days. Keep a good listener, keep an eye. I want you to observe what is happening. The current poll that's on your screen is important. I want you to know, I want to know from you how much time you can spend. And that is more of a personal commitment at your end, team. So that will set you with a milestone of how much we can achieve given this fact. Can everyone finish that poll? Team, it's number of hours per week. So I saw someone putting 5 hours, 10 hours, and that's fine. But I'll just kidding. That is fine, team. How many hours you can spend. And this can change as things go. So if you can only spend a little time, then what is it that you should do? If you can spend more time, what is it that you can do? That is what I wanted to show. Yes, some of you working, and hence it is not easy to fully participate. See, for working members, I'll talk how we can do, and for full time also, I'll just write down. Questions. All right, team, I'm closing the poll, just sharing with you all. So we've got about, I'll start with the highest. For 40 hours, we've got about 10% of you, team. So that means you're almost ready to spend full time onto learning, onto projects and so on. So that's good commitment. And there's 30% who's in the 20 hours mark. So it's almost half a week. 20 hours is good thing. If you attend just one training a week, you'll spend about 5 to 10 hours. So anyone who said that I can spend 5 hours, 10 hours, then you are only able to do what is it that you could do. um, like limited. So you have to get training. So choose specific. Oops, I need to hide this. I'm hiding this one thing. Choose specific ones since your time is short. So in JPACT, be an observer or listener for that. That is fine. So team, I'm not saying that everyone should be active in it. Even if you can do assistance, like I was saying, in tasks that require coordinator, leads, or even documentation. So there's wide amount of roles that you can involve based on the amount of time you can spend. So that get a clarity from you. Your team, the one we will be working with, and other teams will motivate you. Okay, so team, this is how many hours you can spend in a week, not in a day, I believe. Let's say in a week, yeah. So if you're spending 5 hours, then 5 hours a day translates to 20 hours. Are the projects based on Java or Python too? So, team, I don't have any real projects on Python currently. Okay, so I'm going to answer that question. Python yet. We have on Java. So in this case, what we will do is any part is built on Java. We plan to create a version on Python too. So any shop who's comfortable with Java can take that, or Python can take that. They should be absolutely be able to do the same. So all the Python members will work on the new AXL on. So that would be something we can do. The only reason, team, it requires a lot of time from my end also to coordinate, and hence I could not start it. If one of us is able to take a little bit more active lead on this, we can make it happen. I will walk you through it code by code, line by line, and say how and what we need to do. What was the other questions, team? Let's go with the other questions. I'm going to meet you next on Monday, 5 p.m. We keep having it daily for you. And I believe from Monday or Tuesday, we also have the Java, Python, and the other sessions. We'll guide you on that. For Selenium-based projects, will core Java training be provided in this JPACT program? Question. Yes, so absolutely yes, team. Both core Java and how we need to use Java, JUnit, and TestNG. So that will be there. Correct. So team SDET training is the ongoing ones, and all these trainings will keep going. Members can join individual trainings, or you can be part of JPACT group and also attend the trainings. With JPACT, you will get to be participating in all the project and other activities more actively. What was the other question that I saw? And anyone wants to speak a question can feel free to raise your hand. So team, what is very critical for you is to put a lot of hands-on approach. They do a right. You need to go very hands-on as individual and with the team. So we do lot of mob programming. So we open up our programs and start doing our coding together and make improvements, develop these products. So there's a lot that you can learn by being a good observer in these cases. What you will teach on JPACT 14. So see, team JPACT 14 will go through all of these trainings. Now, briefly, as part of this cycle, we'll go through core Java and Python. We will start with SDET training that involves, so SDET will be next. Before that, manual QA and NEO tester, how we can do that. Then we get into automation frameworks. And SDET training will also involve some CI/CD using Jenkins, GitHub for sure. We will also work with some DevOps tools like Docker, Kubernetes, get some basic idea of how DevOps work, how containers work, and so on. What else is there in this training? Am I missing anything in this training? I think predominantly this is what we do, team. Then there are other trainings which is not necessarily related with software testing per se. Yes, there is the API programming and testing. So that becomes key thing. So in API, we will work a lot through code level, things like tools like Postman, how it works. We'll also do code level and how to build API test data. That's very key. For the SDET batch, we plan to do a crash course fast track, but we've just finished week 1, a little more things left there. There are a lot of activities and project works that the team are involved in. So sometimes these trainings may be getting extended by a week or 2 each of them because we need to complete the topics as well. So give or take, it will take about 2.5 months to go through all of these. Do you have live DevOps projects? So one of the largest implementations that we are doing with NEOT is a completely integrated CI/CD DevOps. So that one gives a lot of hands-on. Are we going to cover API automation? That's covered. So that's right. So there's API automation, there's API programming also. So pretty similar, but when we're saying automation, maybe more from an automation testing standpoint. But overall, we need to start with what is API programming. When are you starting JPACT 14? So this is the start of it. Think of it as an orientation session. From Monday, we'll keep rolling on. is any mobile testing training too included? Yes. So team, the other trainings that I want to be able to do and could not plan yet, I'm speaking to new trainers on this. One is mobile app testing, both from a app testing, also from performance and security. That is important. We also need to relook very strongly to performance and security testing. There are two different topics, but I'm just putting it as of now into one line. What are the other ones? There is a data sciences program that we did recently by Prema late last year. We may want to repeat that as well. And data sciences, more of applicability into our QA and automation. So that's will be interesting too. So these trainings, I'm planning to organize them. Again, you have to take them as in how your time permits to. So for example, you might have gone through earlier trainings on any of these. You may have to repeat them again in the current batch or in the ongoing new batches. We will do one JPACT training. I'm kind of answering only taking fewer notes. JPACT batch repeats every 2-3 months. So the next batch will be in another 2-3 months, where we again start from the very beginning and go through this as a journey. How many JPACT batches can I repeat? So your JPACT membership gives you a 2 years access. So within the 2 years, you can repeat any number of times. The link will be the same team, what you're using today for this one, but for individual trainings, you'll have different webinar links. I will email you those links as well. Okay, so I'm just reading through questions and taking them right now. I'll take the last couple of questions, team. I think we'll be done then for the day. Are we going to have this JPACT 14 session for only 1 hour per day or more? So JPACT 14 session, only 1 hour a day from 5 to 6. Here we will no training. It is only interviews, project work, client work, and so on. That's what we will discuss. Trainings will be at different timings, and each one will have another webinar. So some members will only attend the trainings. They will not be part of JPACT. JPACT members on a consistent basis need to meet, need to talk about what is happening and start working on it like they're working in a real project. How would you help someone who never been in IT industry? Okay. So in the last 10 years that I've been doing IT learn coaching team, I believe a lot of members, significant number of members did not have a prior experience in IT. Some members were working in manual, wanted to get into automation or did other IT things. But there were a lot of members who came from very initial. So in this, there's very simple thing. Repeat the JPACT and live trainings twice. First time, take notes listen and observe. Finish like a Netflix series of viewing videos or live. And here is where, if I'm a beginner, I will be an observer and small contributor. I don't want to be always just silent observer, small contributor to the JPACT activities. That gives you a lot of belief, control, and so on. And then you come back to the next batch, go all in with coding, with hands-on. Give yourself 2 batches, team. That's all I'm saying. So that would take you about 6 months. Now, if you take my word, as I had to learn through all of these skills, either be it for a project perspective or to teach itself, I had to learn skills sometimes. I could never master a skill in the first attempt. And it used to be very confusing, especially today, because I have YouTube videos, we have blogs, we have Stack Overflows, we have Udemy's of the world with trainings there. So where do I go? How do I go? Which is the best structured one? That is how I'll try and always go towards. So to do that, it'll still take me 2 times to get a good standing on any subject, any topic. Give yourself breathing space. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Go a little easier and know that at least 40%, if not more, are in a similar situation. The ones you'll see who are doing better, performing in these projects or more active could be a previous JPAC member or could have been someone working in the industry. And by just observing and looking at how we do things, you will gain a lot of knowledge yourself. Every job needs 5 to 6 years experience. How would we get the experience? See, it's not easy to get an experience or to show an experience. What is more critical is to showcase your skill. Now, if you go into the market saying that you attended a 6 months program, put your profile talking about what program you attended, and here is the project that you're currently working after the end of that program. You can get started in a little junior position. Maybe you'll get paid $10 an hour lesser than someone with 5 to 6 years experience, but you can still get started on it. In 6 months, 1 year, you keep building your experience. There is no alternate to it. And just putting up projects which you have not put your hands on, you will not be comfortable. It is like wearing someone else's clothes and going for an interview. How will you, feel comfortable in it? So let your resume speak a lot about what you've been doing. So if you are focused on all these activities, you have to put these in. I will guide you, team. There are plenty of resume templates that we've built. We do a lot of interviews, and I know what templates and how you can use. So you will basically have 2 projects, small projects in the 6 months that you'll work with us. You will also be part of many learning things. That's the profile that you can go. I see one more. How long does it take to complete the QA software tester course? So there is the NEOT certified testing. This is going on. Okay, here. So this one by itself will be about 1.5. 1 week is enough. 1 to 2 weeks. Just to do manual QA and NEOT tester. Any other questions, team? There were a lot of questions, so I had to extend this a little bit more. This training gonna start from next week onwards, both of these, for Java and Python, manual QA and NEOT tester. I believe it is also there in our webinars. Let's see once. So if you go to itlearn.com/webinars, let me see if I'll email it to you, team. There you go. So these are the 3 trainings. Okay, so JPACT 14 orientation. This is the one that we are attending today. And then NEOT, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. This is 9:30 to 11 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday for 2 weeks. So it may be a little late night for India. Please note that. And for Australia, I don't know what will be the time. So please check at your end. Maybe too early for you. Then we have Java, the plus Python side by side. That is from 6:30 to 8 p.m. So you can register here for these webinars. These are the 2 trainings that are starting next week. And this will start from beginning at a very, very fresh level. How can we add projects to our resume? So very simple. Now it's not very simple, but this is what I've been doing. Across this, there are a lot of things that we are developing in NEOT. NEOT itself, if you're saying that you're working in NEOT lab, there's a lot that you can speak what we are doing. We're gonna add new features to it, like that link checker, like a time tracker with screenshots and so on, onto our NEOT platform. So there'll be insignificant changes that will keep happening too. So one big project that is going on steadily will be NEOT that you should all participate. And this is a crowd-built tool, everyone. So we've come together as a team. All the old members have been helping me to build. As each new team comes, I'll show them what we built so far, and then we want to keep adding beyond. The second are, there are 2 other projects that where NEOT is implemented. Those 2 projects also, if you're participating, a little bit onto them, you could put them onto your resume. Did I answer that question? I know I'm just speaking those rather than writing. What else? Did I miss any other questions, Steve? Are you going to provide placements after training? So this is an important one, and I think this gets very critical, specifically with our current situation. So placements, let's see. Post training. So in here, there are opportunities that you could find through Workasa. We will help to build and promote your CV to who could be needed. The only challenge is a few of these jobs luckily could be work from home or remote, or may require locally. So there are both these chances that could happen. Now, the intent is JPACT 11 and 12 batches should start immediately. I want to help to promote them, get there. So for that, primarily there are few things, team. Resume check, then you have to do your reference check, then your interview, like skill check, skill interview check. So you need to start preparing from an interview in mind always. See what I say, right? If I'm a good programmer, sometimes my scope could be limited to certain areas. And when I go to interview, I'll realize that they're asking me across the board. So you may want to prepare for interviews, team. So we'll need to start working on. And once we get it, we have a great list of providers who could get our screening team on these. You could go either as a contract to hire or an FTE into these positions. The only thing that will put a challenge us is the situation. And the situation is not just, you have to realize the depth of a team. One is when will it get back to normal, so we can hope to see job openings. So, of course, that's without saying. Now, what happens after it comes to normal? What if there are too many profiles and too few jobs? Then how do we handle that? And that becomes very, very critical thing. Why you compare to someone else? The only answer I'll give you, team, just get test on SDET. Once you do that and you make sure you're going through these, you're standing a fair chance into the market. Now, the current jobs may start remote and then on site. For us to be able to do that, you have to get your resumes ready. Any JPACT member, all JPACT members, and send across their CVs for our review anytime. And this is where we will do one-on-one mock interviews. I will look at your profile, I will call you, we will discuss. I would suggest a few things maybe as improvements you will have to work on. And these are the activities that will happen on the side. The other members would not know that we are discussing about it. It's one-on-one. So there, and then you can do your regular group activities also. So placements post training, let us give our best team. And you want to have certifications and work on latest technologies. So if we are able to showcase that we are an ongoing project despite showcase and ongoing, when I'm saying showcase, not falsely, showcase an ongoing project that you have been working through the lockdown. So while the lockdown is happening, you should mention that, hey, you know what, I still was working on this project remotely, and this is what we've been doing. And there are a couple of those projects that you'll talk. It becomes an edge. Now, I will tell you one more thing. Every experienced resource needs to resharpen and retrain before getting into the market. So it will be very clear, team, that there'll be no scope. If they don't like what you're speaking, interviews will start ending in 5 minutes now. So clearly, even if your experience, your scope had been only to work on a few things. So you want to resharpen beyond what you've been working. Oh, every day I've been working on the same 4 pages, the same automation code, the same GitHub, Jenkins. There was no scope for you to learn beyond. When you go back to these programs, you get to fill in the gaps and get ready into the market. So that is where your edge is. You're working on a project and you will have to have the latest ones updated as skills team. That's our best shot, everyone. And you will see a lot of opportunities coming up for the specific skills that we're doing. There's so many other things that we need to add to it. One after the other, we can get on. I don't see any other questions right now. I thought I will be able to finish this. I'm sorry it took much longer, team. We have an SDET session going now. I don't have a webinar for it. Give me a minute. But okay, so team SDET members, I'll put it in your SDET group. The link to join. That's it, everyone. From my side, I'll see you on Monday. Please ensure you go to itlearn.com/webinars and register for the ENIOC HTML and the Java. See you next week, everyone. Bye then. Thank you, everyone.